Hello, welcome back to the workshop. Right, today we have the contents of this box. This was sent to me by a company based in Hong Kong called Stirling Kit. Doesn't contain the Stirling engine. Contains the Stirling Kit Retrol, and it is in fact their model SE01 beam steam engine and boiler model kit. It's got 85 parts in it, and they also sent me one of these which contains basically a dynamo generator thing and a street lamp. Right, come back to that later. We'll build that as a separate thing. So what we're going to do is we are going to unbox this, have a look at it. We're probably going to do two or three videos, and the reason for that is so that I can do one video dedicated to actually putting it together in some detail. And the reason for doing it in some detail is because it will help some people who get a bit flustered at different times with putting it together. Obviously people who are experienced with these things will find that a bit tedious, so I'll put that in the same separate video. I might try and do a very brief highlights, but what we're going to do right now is we're going to unbox it. Now, just to be clear, this is counts as a sort of paid promotion because they have sent this to me for free, so I can review it. Okay, but that's what I'm getting for it. And also there's a discount code. I'll put links in the description for where you can buy this, where you can buy this, and where you can look at their general range. There's a discount code, Ben15. That gets you 15% off. And sorry about that noise, that's the carbon monoxide meter I have, because I have a diesel heater in here and it likes to let me know that it's keeping an eye and keeping me safe. But it is a bit irritating. Right, so let's unbox. See what's in the box. It's a nice presentation box, this particular box. Does look nice. Now, Kevin over at Mr. Factorum's workshop has a different kit that he's done a review of, and his kit is interesting as well. I'll put a link to his video as well so you can have a look at that. So we have instructions and drawings. Whoa, let me just try and fold that. Hold on. Right. So you have a list of parts, an overall picture, beam engine looking thing, and the various different bits. We'll come back to that. There is a governor on this one, which is a centrifugal governor, which is interesting. And we can see how this thing goes together. Lots of various different little screws of various different sorts. Let me have a look. There is a back to these pages with operating instructions. Something that I will need to get, which I don't have with me, is steam oil. So there we go. Now there's a couple of mild things that I'm not fond of on this. One of which is the oh, hold on. Yeah, I'm not sure how bronzy or brassy these are. Right, let me have a look at that. Is that? Let me see now. Just pull these out. Okay. So these bits Not sure what that bit is. Some of these bits look like they are round to the boiler. That looks like part of the burner. Tweezers. Appears to be fitting some tools in there. There's a Allen wrench in there. In fact, there's several Allen wrenches in there, and a little spanner, so you shouldn't need tools. That is the burner. Now that burner is stainless steel, and it looks like it's got a little bit of TIG welding around it, and or spot welding. Whole bunch of little fittings in there. Pull that out. There is the base of the whole thing, which looks nicely made. Let's have a look at that boiler. So the boiler, this one comes fully assembled. You can see there, that's effectively your water gauge, that's your outlet, that's your regulator, that looks like a steam whistle, and there is your safety valve, and that looks like that's a removable cap, and that end looks removable as well. Now it does lead to one thing that I'll come back to, which I'm not fond of. Two things I'm not fond of this boiler. This particular boiler is made of brass. It's entirely suitable for the sort of thing this thing is going to be doing. But nevertheless, if you're making something that's going to do any heavier work, or any kind of heavy work, you want a copper boiler, not a brass boiler, and the reason for that is to do with zinc leaching, which you will get in brass. Right, so what we're going to do, first thing, these parts are nicely made. Let me have a look. That governor looks like it's reasonably well made. See what that does as that comes up. Okay, so you can see there, as the boils come up, that's pushing this down in the middle, which is to be expected. That clearly is a valve block in there, so steam in there and steam out there, all the other way round, and that regulates your steam. So those bits are brass, this is aluminium. That looks like that works quite well. These, that's interesting. That goes in for your burner. Now let's see. Now the flywheel here feels like it's aluminium, so it could do with being heavier. Here is your beam and piston assembly. This comes pre-assembled with, let me just have a look at that. I think that's a reasonably good Watts parallel motion assembly. That can slide along there. These castings are quite nice. Right, so that looks to me, have a look at the general drawing. Right, so this here is your cylinder and valve block, and I'm presuming it goes on like that, and we have this in here is a piston valve with an eccentric, so that's what that is. And you can see this is a single cylinder. That looks like that there looks like it should be draining somewhere, but I'm not quite sure where it drains. And you can see, if you look very closely down the bottom of there, you can see where the steam entry port is, just about here. There is another port on that side which seems connected to there. But it looks quite nice. Right, so what I now need to do, so that's that. These bits come pre-assembled. You're not going to have, or at least these bits of this come pre-assembled. Let's have a look, try and work out. Right, so that's the pillar on which this sits. In there. Okay. So I think I've got an idea of where everything goes by just looking at it. What I obviously need to do here and now is to look at this and work out the construction and the building of it, and then once I've done that is to do the build video. These parts, let me just go and show you some more of the parts. So this here is the main connecting rod, which as it happens, just have a look. Alright, so there is a shaft goes through there, haven't located the shaft yet. Shaft goes through there, out there, and then that goes through one of these blocks, through the flywheel to another block, and then this here sits like that on there, and that drives the beam up and down. These parts, you can see these are nicely machined. Where the bits are die cast, they're very well die cast. Where they're machined, they're very well machined. These do not need finishing, so that is excellent. Okay, so if you're trying to put this together, you will need the tools that are come with the kit. You shouldn't need any other tools. You will want some steam oil. Come back to that. Hold on, let me just have a look. And for this, technically you don't need any steam oil because it's not got a lubricator on this one. But what you will need to do is keep it reasonably well oiled. Right. So that's part one. Let me go and have a read of the instructions, and then I'll put it together. Which I don't think will take very, very long because it's not a very complicated kit. This kit, by the way, currently is about £230 on the Stirling Kit website. It gets shipped from China, takes about a week and a half. Quite efficient, and it's all duty paid and all the rest of it, so you won't have any trouble. And as I say, there will be a discount code in the description. So thanks for watching. Please like, please share, please subscribe. Drop a comment in the drop a comment below.